Mrs. Tyson here. I have my friend Mr. Alligator. He's gonna help us walk through our lessons today. So what we're gonna do today is Monday, and we're going to focus on RL24. So I want you to take a look at my poster I have here. RL24, I'm gonna read it to you. I want you to follow along as I read it. Identify words and phrases in stories or poems that suggest feelings or appeal to the senses. That sounds like a lot, but it really isn't, boys and girls, because we're just going to be focusing on words, and we're going to focus on words that suggest feelings or appeal to our senses. So what we're going to do today is I want you to ask yourself one question before we get started. You know what that question is? Are you a good reader? I knew it, you were. So good readers always ask themselves about the words in a story before they read. Here are 2 questions I want you to focus on. You ready? So is Mr. Alligator. So, which words surprise me or have a funny sound? So we're gonna look at words that might sound funny to us or surprise us in the story. I'm so excited to read this story today. And are there words that help me understand the story? So are there words in the story that help me understand the story better? And good readers always ask these 2 questions. So before I start reading, I want you to put your reading hat on and get ready. Okay, boys and girls, so we're gonna read the story, The Kite by Frog and Toad. Don't worry if you don't have the book. I have the book and I will be showing you the pictures and the words. Remember, our focus for today is to look at the words and are there any words that help us understand the story better? So before we get started, the title of the story is called The Kite. And it's from Days with Frog and Toad. So this is a fiction story, so we're really going to focus on the characters, the setting, and the plot while we're reading the words. So before I get started, I want to show you a picture of a kite. Have you ever flown a kite before? That's awesome. So some people have flown kites, some people haven't. It's okay if you haven't. I just wanted to show you a picture of what a kite looks like. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna read through the story and I'm gonna show you some words that might appeal to your senses. Are you ready? Yay, me too. So I want you to put your listening ears on. Let's turn them up to a 3. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Yay! The Kite. Frog and Toad went out to fly a kite. They went to a large meadow where the wind was strong. Our kite will fly up and up, said Frog. It will fly all the way up to the top of the sky. Toad, said Frog, I will hold the ball of string. You hold the kite and run. So they are in a meadow. This is what a meadow looks like. It's kind of like an open field with lots of grass and flowers. I'm gonna also show you a picture of a meadow. This is what a meadow looks like. So our 2 words so far are kite and meadow. Say meadow with me. Meadow. Good. Toad ran across the meadow. He ran as fast as his short legs could carry him. The kite went up in the air. It fell to the ground with a bump. Toad heard laughter. 3 robins were sitting in a bush. And you can see the robins laughing at Toad. That kite will not fly, said the robins. You may as well give up. Toad ran back to Frog. Frog, said Toad, this kite will not fly. I give up. So poor Toad has given up already on his kite. Let's see what happens. We must make a second try, said Frog. Wave the kite over your head. Perhaps you will make it fly. Toad ran across the meadow. He waved the kite over his head. The kite went up in the air and then fell down with a thud. "What a joke," said the robins. "That kite will never get off the ground." So how did the kite fall? With a thud, right? So the word thud is an interesting word, and it means to fall. So it's kind of like the noise you make when you fall. So I have a picture of a little girl, and she has fallen with a thud. So that's what happened to his kite. And the robin said, "What a joke." So the robins are kind of making fun of Frog and Toad. Now, a joke is when you think something's funny. So they're not being nice to Frog and Toad. They're thinking that this kite flying is a joke, that it's funny to them. Toad ran back to Frog. "This kite is a joke," he said. "I will never get off the ground." "We have to make it a third try," said Frog. "Wave the kite over your head and jump up and down. Perhaps that will make it fly." Toad ran across the meadow again. He waved the kite over his hands. He jumped up and down. The kite went up the air and crashed down into the grass. "This kite is junk," said the robins. "Throw it away and go home." Toad ran back to Frog. "This kite is junk," he said. "I think we should throw it away and go home." So Toad is listening to the robins, and the robins aren't being very nice to Toad. "Toad," said Frog, "we need one more try. Wave the kite over your head, jump up and down, and shout, 'Up, kite, up!'" Toad ran across the meadow. He waved the kite over his head. He jumped up and down. He shouted, "Up, kite, up!" So the robins think that the kite is junk. So I made a picture of the word junk here. Junk just means trash, things that you throw out, or lots of things that aren't worth anything. So they think the kite is not worth anything. The kite flew into the air. It climbed higher and higher. "We did it!" cried Toad. "Yes," said Frog. "It's running. If a running try did not work, a running and waving try did not work, and a running, waving, and jumping try did not work. I knew that a running, waving, jumping, and shouting try just had to work." The robins flew out of the bush, but they could not fly as high as the kite. They watched their kite. It seemed to be flying way up at the top of the sky. So Frog and Toad were looking at their kite. That's what the word watched means. So at the end of the story, I had the word watch, like when you watch your TV. Do you ever watch your TV or your tablet or your computer? That's right. Okay, so let's talk about our words that appealed to us and helped us understand the story. So the first one was the word kite. Can you say kite? Awesome. And this is a picture of what a kite looks like. Good job. The next word was meadow. Can you say meadow? Meadow. A meadow is kind of like an open field, and that's where they were trying to fly their kite. So that's almost like the setting of the story. The kite was falling down with a thud, right? It was not flying up in the air like Frog and Toad wanted to. So the thud means falling. The robins thought the kite was a joke. They thought it was funny, so they were laughing at Toad. But remember, Frog encouraged his friend Toad, right? And he taught him a lesson. But the word joke means something is funny. The robins also said that the kite was junk. Remember, junk was like trash. So there's a picture of the word junk. And at the end, Frog and Toad watched their kite. So when you watch something, it just means you look at it really, really closely. So I'm watching you right now, okay? All right, so all of these words helped us understand the story better. What I want you to do is you're going to make your own little 3-column chart. Looks like this. You're going to put the words that we talked about today. So you're gonna put watched, junk, meadow, thud, and joke. And you can even put the word kite on there too. You're gonna write 1 or 2 words that tell me about this word. So for example, the word watched. What do you do when you watch something? I could put I watch TV, or I look at something, and then I could draw a picture of what I'm watching. So if I'm watching TV, I would draw myself watching TV, okay? So for the word junk, I could put trash here, and then I could put a picture of junk, okay, or a trash can. So that is just an extension activity that I want you to work on, because on Wednesday, we're going to go over this story again. And if you don't want to do all of the words, you don't have to, but I want you to do at least 3 words. How many words? 3 words. Good. So I want the word, what happens in your own words, or just a word that means the same thing as this word, and a picture. Okie dokie? You say artichoke. Awesome. So I will see you all on Wednesday. Bye for now.